Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena and another Florida Everblades pregame show. I'm Hannah Jo Groves alongside Jake Maurice. Jake, the Blades came through on Fan Appreciation Night, 5-0 shutout of our rivals, the South Carolina Stingrays. Jake, what overall gave the Blades the edge in that game?
Once again, you get off to a very fast start, just 52 seconds in. You're up 1-0. You're feeling really good. South Carolina had a better push in the first period than they had the night before. They were able to try and stay in the game, but Florida gets a pair of goals at timely moments. The first one comes after South Carolina's first big push of the first period to make it 2-0, and then they get one late in the first period. They're up 3-0, and as we've seen this season, when Florida gets up by 3 in a game, when they get 3 goals in a game, they almost always win. I believe I'm going off memory here. The record's 41-3 when we score 3 goals in a game.
I'll take your word for it.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so, it gets the job done a lot. And, yeah, from there, the second period, they get a couple goals back-to-back, and from there, the game was just theirs.
And I know we talked about on the pregame show, we heard Coach Brad Ralph talk about it in Coach's Corner. This was supposed to be a playoff caliber team that we were supposed to kind of get a litmus test of, okay, what do we need to work on? This could be kind of who we're facing. So what was the mix of the Blades just being dominant, taking control, and what was the mix of maybe South Carolina not playing up to their full potential?
Yeah, I don't think that was the best South Carolina can do.
Okay.
I mean, if it is, then I'd say we're in a pretty good spot. But yeah. I don't think it was. They were missing a number of important players from their lineup, either through injury or the AHL. But the Everblades were missing some important players, too. You had Sam Stang and Hudson Elenick sitting for both of those games. You had Zach Berzola up in the American Hockey League. He's back down with the Everblades now, so that's another strong blue liner for your back end who can really move up the ice well. And I think it was just Florida really showed up for those games on home ice, whereas South Carolina kind of didn't.
Yeah.
And it's a difference in mentality. It's a difference in just the team culture where Florida, every single game, even if it's one that, okay, you can come up with a million reasons why it doesn't matter and you can just coast through it.
Right.
Florida can't accept that. It's not acceptable in that room to play any less than your best. Florida did. That's why they got 2 dominant wins.
Speaking of playing your best, Kyle McClellan in his home debut got a shutout. What were you seeing from him in the crease?
Yeah, he's 3-0 with the Blades now, rolling with Florida, and I'm seeing a guy who's very reliable, someone you can trust behind Cam Johnson. I mean, you go back a few playoff runs ago in 2022, the Everblades had to start with Parker Gahagen as their starter, not Cam Johnson. He was a little bit banged up. Only 2 games, Gahagen got them a win to help them take that series over Greenville. That might happen, obviously we hope it doesn't.
Right,
we want Johnson to be as healthy as possible. But now, okay, we need Kyle McClellan to play games 3 and 4 of the first round series. You can trust him going into those games and trust that he can give you a good performance and win, because in each of the games he's gotten progressively better. First one, it had been like over a month since he played.
Right.
Wasn't entirely clean, but he still did enough to get the Everblades to win.
Yeah.
Second one looked a lot crisper, a lot more settled in, and then that one on Saturday, he looked so good. The fans help him. You get your first game on home ice against a strong team with some good shooters, even with the guys they were missing. He shows up big, made some very nice stops in that first period to keep Florida in the lead, not let South Carolina find a way back into it. Did his job, and you can trust that he's going to keep doing his job should he be called upon going forward.
That's a really nice feeling to have. Another really nice feeling, we've had 2 guys named to all ECHL teams. Jordan Sandbrook on that second team, Cam Johnson on that first team. Those are 2 names that we mention a lot in our program here, but what made them unignorable and really stand out to the league?
Well, for Johnson, I mean, when you lead the league in wins, you've got the best goals against average in the league for starters who've played more than a handful of games. Your save percentage is great. 3 shutouts. You've already won 3 Kelly Cups, 2 playoff MVPs. You were goaltender of the year last year. Kind of makes a statement as to who runs this league in the crease, right? He's been so strong, especially the second half of the season. He's just taken off and is going into the playoffs with a lot of confidence, a lot of momentum, exactly what you want out of your starting goaltender. And Jordan Sandbrook has been a huge part of helping Johnson and the rest of this team. I mean, he's on pace right now for the ECHL's best ever plus-minus in the league's 38-year history.
Yeah.
Plus Performer of the Month in March with a plus 20 rating, point per game in March, right? So it's a rise of his production while not losing his defensive strength. I mean, if you look during an Everblades game, any penalty kill, any big defensive shift, late game Blades are up by 1, he's on the ice and he's going to be out there for as long as is needed, as long as his body can go.
Yeah.
And that's why he's one of the top defensemen in the league and earned second team honors for the first time in his career.
It is so nice to see those guys honored. They really deserve that after all their hard work. Tonight, Jake, we are up against the Reading Royals, a team that we are not very familiar with as opposed to last week. Tell the Blades fans what they should know about this team.
Well, Reading is playoff bound. They clinched their playoff spot last week. They're fighting with the Adirondack Thunder for some seeding in the North Division, trying to be third rather than fourth. Either way, though, they are going to the playoffs. They're going to start on the road, coached by our old friend in Anthony Peters, doing a quality job in his first year behind the bench as the boss up there in Reading. Also joined by our old friend in Ali Vecchia-Spooner as the team's athletic trainer. So they're not coming in fully strength because a couple of their guys actually just called up to the American Hockey League. But with Lehigh Valley not making the playoffs, those guys are going to come back down. They're in the same position we are. Yes, they have a little more to play for in the standings, trying to stay ahead of Adirondack, but they're in the playoffs. They know they're good. They're more focused on getting ready for next week, whoever their opponent is going to be, whether it's Maine or Wheeling. They just want to be, like Florida, as sharp as they can be before those games next week.
And their head coach is familiar with this building, very familiar with this building. So we have quite a win streak going on here at home. We want to keep it rolling. Give us the direct effect marketing 3 keys of the game. What's it going to take?
Well, I mean, strong starts. You score in the first minute. I don't know if we'll have that again, but obviously if you do, that's great. But regardless, you want to start strong, especially against a team you're not really familiar with. You want to get to your game plan right away. Don't allow them to establish theirs early on. Second off, discipline important. Helps keep you healthy, helps keep you out of the box so the other team doesn't get opportunities with the power play to take the game away from you. Just all around good decision making at this time of the year important. And then finally, we've talked about it a lot over the last few weeks. All these games are really about is making sure that the Everblades are in peak condition going into the postseason. That means sticking with the systems, not shortchanging any shifts, not trying to sacrifice something for individual stats. You've got to be team committed, team focused, and playing the exact same way you would if this was a Game 7 tonight. You've got to play like that so that you're ready for the real deal should you need to go for one of those.
So the last time the Blades played was Saturday. So they've had a couple of days where they haven't had a game. They've been, of course, skating, working out, and all of that stuff. But what is that, I mean, for lack of a better term, rest kind of do for them going into tonight?
Well, it means you've got no excuse to not come out with your very best right at the start, right? You've had 4 days of practice here. You had an off day before that, so this team is coming in, well, the guys that are healthy and able to go tonight, they're coming in peak condition. You've had the whole time at home, right? You didn't have to travel down here like Reading. You should be able to go right away. And then next week, we get the exact same thing ahead of Game 1 against the Ghost Pirates. We get to stay at home. Sunday off. Practice the whole week. Ghost Pirates have to travel down here. You've got to use that to your advantage, and you can honestly kind of use this game as a way to get off rust. That's always the concern. If you have too much rest, right, that you come out a little sloppy, a little slow, and the other team can take advantage of it. You work on that tonight so that by next week, you're all good to go. It is helpful to have the same formula this week that we will have next week. Very much so. Okay, well, Jake, next up we've got warm-ups. And then it's the Reading Royals versus your Florida Everblades. We'll see you there.